Nintendo is a great company, but it has severe issues. The first major problem is demonstrated by the closure of the 3DS and Wii U eShops. If you don't know, Nintendo recently nuked the online game stores for the 3DS and the Wii U. Now you might not have heard of that second one, and I don't blame you, nobody really has, but every single person who knows video games knows the DS, and this one just has a 3 in front of it. Barely any different, just, ooh, another dimension that no one actually likes. Unfortunately, you can no longer buy digital games for either of these consoles, and there's no good reason for it. Well, I'll just buy physical games. Good luck with that, because the prices for these things have been skyrocketing ever since people heard the shops were going to be closed down. They're panicking. But are the prices ever going to go back down? No, because for whatever reason, Nintendo games never lose value. They just go up and up and up and up. It's amazing. If you want to get into the 3DS, I'm sorry you missed that boat. Nintendo sank it, just because they wanted to. The root of this issue is that Nintendo doesn't care about game preservation at all. Their history, their legacy, they just delete it. I mean, shame on us for wanting to play games from our childhood, right? My bad for wanting to play older games instead of the brand new ones. It turns out there's some real bangers from back in the day, and they're still good today. But no, Nintendo goes so far as to threaten legal action to people who emulate their games even though there is no way to buy them. People are trying to give you money, Nintendo. Just take it and give us the games we want. It's simple. I mean, can you imagine how many people would buy a copy of Smash Melee if they re-released it? Everyone. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube is one of my favorite games of all time, but there is about a -0.5% chance that I would ever buy it physically for $300 off of eBay. And even if I did, Nintendo wouldn't see a single cent of it. What's the point? Why just lock things away into the vault and never bring them back? It's free money. You've already made the game. Just give it to me! Remember Super Mario 3D All-Stars, that collection of 3 classic Mario games that was only sold for limited time? Why was it sold for a short time? Because Nintendo wanted to capitalize on people's FOMO. They got tons of people to buy the game who probably wouldn't have just because they knew one day it would be gone. That is absolutely maidenless behavior. Now what's not maidenless is subscribing to this channel so you can help me save the gaming industry from these soulless, bottom-feeding corporations who only see you as a cash cow. Speaking of cash cows, that's exactly what Super Smash Bros, Splatoon, and Mario Kart could be if Nintendo actually supported a competitive scene for them. Imagine if competitive Nintendo esports got to be as big as things like CSGO, Dota 2, and Fortnite. But that's not gonna happen. Unfortunately, Big Red over here absolutely hates it when their consumers have fun in any way other than what their Lord Kirby intended. You know how Smash Ultimate DLC characters got those letters as invitations to the roster? Yeah, it's kind of like that, except Smash tournament organizers receive cease and desist letters from Nintendo Don't Have Fun's legal team. What a special way to celebrate your fans. While you're reading about your incoming lawsuit from Nintendo because you accidentally played a game on Dolphin, you might want to listen to some tunes. Well, I hope you have your Switch and a pair of headphones in your back pocket because you can't listen to Nintendo music online. Nope, they won't upload their music to YouTube and they'll copyright strike anyone that does. But it's all in good fun. Next time I go for a jog to escape my existential dread, I'll bring along an N64, a CRT TV, and a generator so I can listen to my favorite music while I'm on the go. I mean, what kind of sick pleasure do they derive from denying people the ability to listen to their favorite music? What's the benefit there? This is why I'm such a Sega fanboy. They just let us do whatever we want. Thank you, Sega. Another thing I'm thankful for is that I haven't experienced Joy-Con drift yet. But like the sun rises in the east each morning, so too will my Joy-Cons rise. Up, slightly to the left. And get me killed in Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't want to go left, I wanted to go right. Stop going. What? Why am I drifting? This has been an issue for years and Nintendo refuses to do anything about it. They're still selling the original Joy-Cons. They haven't changed a thing. They were even proud about it. Like, we're selling the new, more expensive Switch OLED, and guess what, guys? We haven't changed up your favorite thing about it. What? The Joy-Cons. It's the same Joy-Cons as always. I can't wait to see you come back in 3 months to buy new ones from us because your old ones started drifting. Like, that's not something to be proud of. You shouldn't be proud that your product is failing. Sure, you can send in your Joy-Cons to get repaired for free if you live in the right area. I mean, screw all the people that live outside of the places Nintendo likes, right? They're sorry out of luck. I know, and you know, and every single person out there knows that Nintendo is betting on not enough people knowing about that service, that they are still making enough money from people buying secondary Joy-Cons because they didn't know they can get them repaired for free. Your average consumer out there, the parent that bought their kid a Switch, does not know that service exists. they're just gonna go out and buy a whole new pair of Joy-Cons for 70 or 80 bucks or whatever it is. It's an absolute scam. There's a class action lawsuit against Nintendo for Joy-Con drift in the United States. What's their defense? They knew it was a problem and they continue to sell the products to people. Even though they're being sued over it, they will not change their behavior. This is some extreme Nintendo do the bare minimum amount of effort possible energy. Absolutely pathetic. They don't care about consumers, they just care about making a lot of money. Nintendo Switch Online makes a lot of money too, and it's just as awful. Double the frustration, double the lack of functionality. Great job, Nintendo. You ever tried to play online games on this service? If you have, I have nothing more to say. If you haven't, save yourself and do anything else, cause it'll be less frustrating. No voice chat unless you bring out your phone with an app? You can't friend people very easily? What is this? 2001? At first, Switch Online sucked. Okay, well it still does, but at least back then it was free. Then they raised the price to $20 a year, which is admittedly a lot less than what Sony and Microsoft charge, but it is also a lot less than what Sony and Microsoft give you. You unlock the right to have cloud saves, which are then held hostage by Nintendo because if you unsubscribe from the service, you lose your cloud saves. Eventually they added NES, SNES, and original Game Boy games, which is very cool. The selection's a little limited, it's not great. I mean, imagine having SNES with no Final Fantasy games, no Chrono Trigger, none of those hard-hitting classics. They did get Earthbounds, that's cool. But oh loud, they introduced the $50 tier and that was the tipping point. $50. And what do you get for it? DLC you don't actually own, N64 games that are actually kind of worse than the original, Game Boy Advance, which is okay, that's a plus, that's a good move, but you really need a lot more games. There's barely any games in that service right now. And the Sega Genesis, which is cool, but also you can buy every single one of these games for 99 cents on Steam. The value for the service just isn't there. Now that was a lot of being down on Nintendo. I have to say, they have Xenoblade Chronicles 1, so it kind of balances out.